countdown is underway. As has been the case before every major football match in this country since the restart, taking the knee. It's very much a message these top footballers are sending around the world. And now there's a football match, Stuart, to watch, which is being studied around the world as well, and it is a tough one to predict.
Certainly is. Both teams playing exactly the same shape. 3 at the back, 4 across midfield, and then 3 up front. Type of centre-forward, Giroud for Chelsea, playing in the centre-forward position. He's going to be the link-up player for Chelsea. Lacazette, likewise to a certain degree, but he'll also have that little bit of pace to run in behind, like Zuma.
First free kick goes Arsenal's way. Both clubs have beaten 3 rival Premier League teams and 2 from the Championship on their way to the final. Both have conceded just 2 goals along the way. Chelsea have scored 10, Arsenal 9. Arsenal certainly were surprise winners over Manchester City here 2 weeks ago. Maybe slightly less so. Chelsea and Manchester United was a tougher divide to try and bridge with an opinion. Chelsea came through strongly, and Manchester United were on a very good run going into that game, were beaten. So we could have had an all-Manchester final. We've got an all-London one. Towards Giroud. He's really spoken lengthily about how they're going to try and cope with him. There's Rudiger. 3 centre-backs with Zuma and Captain Azpilicueta. It says very much like for like in terms of shape. We wondered whether Chelsea would go to a back 4. And certainly the flexibility to do that. The game perhaps need that kind of tweak, but at the moment they're going to line up as expected, very much the teams we expected. And then with Reece James in the Chelsea lineup, that's the clue that it would be wing backs, Max Alonso on the other flank.
There's 2 key battles. Up against Holding. It's going to be a key battle down this near side. On the other side, Aubameyang against Azpilicueta.
Good run by Niles, who gets the cross in, and the first opportunity really comes Aubameyang's way. Niles, who really was a surprise choice for the semi-final, but did very well against Riyad Mahrez. Shows some attacking thrust here.
Good run from him, breaks the offside line, gets to the byline as well. Really well, just to whip a cross in. In the box.
Chelsea in their 14th final. Arsenal going for their 14th win. Nearly taking the lead through number 14. Captain Aubameyang has only ever played 2 previous FA Cup ties for the club. He scored 3 goals in those 2 games. Wall. Jackers pulled out here, and the first save full stretch for Martinez as Mason Mount, who scored in a similar position in the semi-final, let fly in the final.
Does he make the right decision here? He had Giroud to his right-hand side, who was free. He had to come much tighter in. It's a decent save, a nice height for the goalkeeper.
You can see from that angle what he had to aim at, though.
Giroud was furious the ball wasn't played to him. That was Chelsea winning the ball back in midfield of Ceballos.
Mark's next job is to take the corner. Chelsea goes short. It's put in by James. Comes out to Alonso. He's just trying to tuck it back into the centre rather than trying his luck on a dropping ball with a volley from a tight angle.
Really big chance with the header. Aubameyang.
A chance apiece, really. The defensive records of the 2 teams suggest there should be goals. So often tighter. Maybe the case with no fans and pressure only really self-applied. To find out. Open games, the 2 semis, so they won't want to play.
That's the ball that Arsenal want to play. They've got a little bit of space in midfield. Aubameyang trying to make the run in behind Azpilicueta.
Pulisic. Giroud actually had time to turn, but wasn't told by his teammates. In by Mount, and Pulisic has worked his way through, and it certainly isn't going to finish 0-0. A goal inside 5 minutes, and it's come from the United States of America. Christian Pulisic gives Chelsea the lead at Wembley in the FA Cup final. Arsenal got away with some hesitations in the early minutes of the semi, but they didn't get away with this one.
Well, already Arsenal are struggling in midfield. Pulisic came in. Mason Mount in behind their midfield, some good combination play here. Pulisic runs down the side of Holding, doesn't get tight enough. This is Pulisic taking it on, just lifts it over the goalkeeper. Good play from the midfield player. Giroud setting it up as well. Pulisic with the first touch, it takes him beyond the defenders, and then a clever finish back across the goalkeeper.
It's another Wembley assist for Olivier Giroud, who just loves this place. He's put his old club behind and given Frank Lampard's team the lead with that ball for Pulisic. Here's Nicola Pepe, and has worked for Caballero, and it's a start that the fans would be loving here, really. With, attacking intent from both these London clubs. But Pulisic has scored. Giroud had a hand in it, or a foot in it, I should say. Here's Alonso.
Very brave. He's gone very high on that right-hand side. It means Mason Mount is playing in behind Giroud at times. That's how the goal was created. A lot of space in behind Ceballos and Xhaka.
He's got himself into double figures prior to the final of Christian Pulisic. He's missed some of the season through injury. There's been more than enough stardust, really, that he's sprinkled his first season in English football. Well, technically not his first season in English football. He played as a schoolboy. He lived in England for a few months. He was very young. This is the big league, as they would say in the States. Here's David Luiz. He left Chelsea around a year ago. In terms of the league form, Chelsea won at Arsenal in December, and it was 2-2 at Stamford Bridge, when Chelsea actually had a man advantage and allowed Hector Bellerin to knock in an equaliser. It was a very good point for Arsenal. It was a suggestion that they were beginning to get their act together under Mikel Arteta. If you look at the league table since Arteta got the job, they would be in the top four. They finished all places lower than that. Over the whole campaign, which has given them the titles of Champions League football next season. They're still in the Champions League this season, although in a tall order to stay in it, so they're down from a home defeat against Bayern Munich before the lockdown. The second leg is next Saturday in Germany.
An example of Arsenal not playing out from the back particularly well. The opposition want to press you high up the field, which Chelsea were doing. Sometimes you have to go that little bit longer. Balls into your front players.
Kovacic. That's been a real temptation for Frank Lampard to use N'Golo Kante, but no match practice, just a week of training. I think he's taken probably the sensible course. Jorginho's been back in favour. Kante's been out. Very experienced campaign for matches of this magnitude. Kovacic's psychic. Absolutely right.
You see the ball played forward. There's the ball around the corner. So now just plays it into the box. As it continued his run. He was the player that started it all off. Swap positions with Mason Mount. What a good finish it was from Pulisic.
Here for Marcus Alonso. Pass has just made him hold the moment, and Arsenal just to set up in their shape a little bit better. I do feel it's important for Mikel Arteta to get his team into European football. He wants to spend some money. He's made it quite clear that the squad needs strengthening. But the financial deprivation of not playing European football will mean that the purse strings will be tightened by the American owners. We'll see. Here's the American player, Pulisic. He's going to set himself up for another one. Pushed out by Martinez and reclaimed at the second attempt. What a lively start from Christian Pulisic.
Tactically got it absolutely right at the moment. The two wide players are coming infield and finding that bit of space. He got away from holding to start with. He closes down quite quickly enough. Just a nice height again for Martinez.
It's a good recovery. It needed to be from James, but it's not completed. Aubameyang. And Miles getting forward again to good effect. Chelsea with a man down, but Arsenal a goal down. They're going to play on here. Pepe just couldn't lift it high enough for Lacazette.
Again, Miles making that forward run down the left-hand side. Really good pace and strength to get away from James. Just couldn't quite lift it over Zuma. Down. Jorginho that took the whack.
Chelsea have not defended set pieces very capably this season, especially Arsenal now crowding Caballero. And it's too long. From southwest London, not really tested. Pepe's delivery. Plenty of time for Arteta to steer a recovery exercise here. And Frank Lampard has got the boost of the early goal. 5 FA Cup finals for Chelsea, won 4 of them. The one he lost actually was to Arsenal back in 2002. Remember an outstanding goal from Ray Parlour. And the final was played as this stadium was being built down in Cardiff. Alonso. Of course, we mentioned the previous finals in this competition. Stuart, we shouldn't forget that at the end of last season they met in the Europa League final and Chelsea won it at a canter. Started off in that vein here. James.
Very high and wide on that right-hand side. Alonso down his left-hand side. That's why those two front players. See if Mason Mount to go that little bit narrower.
Kovacic into Pulisic, whose layoff was maybe a little blind that time, and Arsenal trying to construct something through Granit Xhaka and Dani Ceballos. They formed quite a decent partnership over the second half of the season. Xhaka in particular back in favour after some petulant behaviour cost him the captaincy. With Aubameyang taking it on, I think it's Anthony Taylor is going to have to produce at least a judgment call here, if not a card.
Kovacic overrun the ball up against Xhaka. Xhaka went for the challenge standing up. Kovacic gets away from here and then dives into the challenge. The Arsenal players saying it was a really poor challenge. We'll see from this angle. I'm not sure it's a poor challenge. It's a foul.
It wasn't a great challenge by Xhaka either.
No.
He's concerned that
Xhaka puts his foot across the ball, over the
ball.
top of the ball.
Yeah, that's why I think it's a difficult judgment call. The card is out for Kovacic, who's seen as the instigator of that. It's always tricky for the player who's pushed the ball a bit too far ahead and he's chasing the ball. But Xhaka didn't like really what he thought was coming.
And Xhaka stayed on his feet and went over the top. The player that slides in, Kovacic, is the one that gets the booking.
To the ball down the side towards the overlapping Bellerin. Ceballos. little triangle for Arsenal. Chelsea struggling to keep up with it and giving away the free kick. It's just about within range, you would think.
Some ability. Ceballos, when he's running with the ball, changing direction. Kovacic, I think Jorginho is the player that catches him just there.
It's just as well for Kovacic. It wasn't him, really.
Got away from the situation pretty quickly, really.
So it's a free kick to Arsenal. A very bright first 15 minutes between these two London rivals for this FA Cup final. Unique circumstances. When we talk about that, we should praise the football authorities in England and elsewhere around the world, of course. They've managed to get the game at the top level back for all the fans who can't come into the stadiums, but do get the chance to watch these games on television. I hope you're enjoying what's been a very bright start wherever you're watching around the world, on a very bright late afternoon here in London. A couple of options here. It's just too high from Ceballos, who's still a lone player. Again, we're talking about Arsenal's finances, whether they will have the resources to buy him from Real Madrid.
Just gets underneath it, you see what technique he's trying to use. Use the inside of his foot just to get that little bit of dip and swerve on it. He certainly had a better second half to the season than he did the first. As a first pick.
With a vital goal in the quarter-final, the late winner at Sheffield United. Does like to get on the ball and skin passes forward like this one, which Pepe runs down and gets to first. Slightly lunging challenge by Rudiger, and then Pepe replied in kind.
He's certainly got some pace, Pepe. Really good to the ball, just couldn't get away from it in the end.
It's interesting hearing him talk in the build-up to the final that he's not pleased really with his efforts in his first season with Arsenal. Coming for a big fee, he knows he can do better. Big chance for him to make a statement today, particularly now that Arsenal are a goal down. They'll be looking for attacking talents. Here's Bailly. Ceballos. Playing his first season, Kieran Tierney. A Scot by football nationality, actually born in the Isle of Man, where football is, I think, coming into the non-league scene, and that grassroots level is able to start again next season. I think there's any sign that Kieran Tierney will be leaving Arsenal for a game in his birthplace. I'm sure he'll support the initiatives.
This is where Arsenal needed to go a bit longer, so he's under a lot of pressure here.
It's Pepe who stumbles and finds an exit route in the help of David Luiz. This is better from Arsenal. They played from the back to get the first goal beautifully against Manchester City. They come up with something similar here. The numbers were arriving in the middle. Maitland-Niles, who's certainly making an impression going forward on that far side, couldn't deliver this time.
In that forward area, he's up against one of the best 1v1 defenders in the Premier League. Equator knew exactly what he was going to do.
This is the 21st final in the 21st century, and Arsenal or Chelsea have appeared in 14 of them. And for a third time in the period, both of them are in it. They have been, since the millennium, they have been really the two FA Cup teams in terms of getting a much bigger than expected share of the silverware. Nice take by Azpilicueta. Caballero is not far short of the oldest FA Cup final goalkeeper, certainly in modern times. David Seaman of Arsenal, of course, when he was 39. Caballero will be 39 in September. Here's Marcos Alonso. taken on by Jorginho. Chelsea, who fancy that they can pass their way through Arsenal. Just lost a little bit of tempo in this particular move. They'll start from deeper again. Try and switch a play which was rather over-ambitious from Azpilicueta. Timo Werner's actually here, they're signed for next season. There's Hakim Ziyech, who we haven't seen yet but might be here. He's come from Ajax. That's the kind of run that Aubameyang hopes to get. That was a bit straight, but often from right outside infield, and no one's quite sure who's to pick him up defensively.
And there was a big chance because he made the right run. If the ball had been better, he was in. There was a mix-up between James and Azpilicueta about who was going to pick Aubameyang up. Big danger, yet neither of them actually got close to him in the end.
By Zuma, but just out. Could have been any great perception in terms of finding Giroud. Very much the target.
In that position that Maitland-Niles is taking up. We have seen many times Guardiola do that with his full-backs or wing-backs, get them coming infield. Maitland-Niles is making forward runs, then coming infield. It's giving James one or two problems defensively.
And you might allocate that to the connection between Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola. We've reached the halfway point, the official drinks break, but it is becoming a time-out in football. Whether that will continue when we are eventually back to normality. It is a warm afternoon, so the drinks are important for rehydration, but also there's a few seconds for, you see Frank Lampard very animated there, trying to get his point across. He will have seen one or two things to worry him, despite the fact that he's got the boost of that early goal.
Looks though Arsenal's pretty lopsided in the way they're playing. There's lots of width and forward movement down that left-hand side. Bellerin is playing that little bit deeper on the right, so they go at times back to a back four to allow Maitland-Niles to get forward. He just tucks across. Tierney tucks across to become a normal left back. I think he's talking to at the moment, but that's the player that separates the two sides, and what a good goal it was.
Some talk that he came back from lockdown with, in the right sense, a little bit more timber on him, a little bit heavier, a little bit more able to withstand the kind of football that the Premier League brings.
You said that about me as well. I wasn't quite so pleased.
No, that was when you were playing. But his sturdiness, if you like, to add to his obvious skill, make him an even better player. It was a compliment to Christian Pulisic.
Took a little bit of time to settle into Frank Lampard's team. That's amount of preferred in those early games of the season. He's certainly come good. That's a part of it.
Because that can't spin it forward to where Maitland-Niles have got to again. It's come out. Pulisic, of course, was at Borussia Dortmund with Aubameyang. Friendship put on hold today. David Luiz.
Just looking at Arsenal again. Maitland-Niles is coming infield to take James in with him, so it leaves the space for Aubameyang to make that run down the side of Azpilicueta. That's the idea behind me. Arteta's tactics.
It's been, as you probably might expect, the case that the team that is higher in the end of season standings in the league that wins. The flag has gone up here. Well, the ball's put in by Pepe in very good style. Now this will be a VAR call. He couldn't have hit that better. But, didn't hear the whistle, Stuart. Obviously, if the whistle's gone, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, certainly, there's the pass. And That's the one where they give offside, or will be given offside. What a good finish it was. It's a good bit of movement as well.
Well, the check is completed, and that beautiful moment for Nicola Pepe is, in the end, assigned to the refuse bin, sadly, from Arsenal's point of view, because the offside ruling was upheld, and rightly so.
Just showing that Arsenal are getting back into this game. Their movement down that left-hand side is now causing problems. And a good finish it was from Pepe as well.
Here's Tierney. Well, they might get the ball over the top, and when they get Aubameyang in, there are problems for Chelsea. Anthony Taylor has pointed for the penalty. It was a big call for this experienced official, and now he was calling for a red card from the Arsenal point of view. That's a yellow.
It's been coming. Here it is, ball over the top. Why Azpilicueta's not giving more distance off at the back? He does put his arm on him at some point. There's a little push there from Aubameyang. What does Azpilicueta do here? There's the right arm just going round the body. There's the left arm on his shoulder. Aubameyang is actually not running towards the ball. And given the penalty, I'm not sure the VAR is going to change this.
They have to rule it a clear and obvious error from, as I say, a very experienced official. Azpilicueta gets only the yellow, but unless VAR have an alternative view, Arsenal have got a penalty.
I'm not sure why Azpilicueta, the big threat, we know before the game, is the ball played over the top for Aubameyang. So it's in the box, or outside the box.
It's a big call here as to whether it's inside. If it's carried on inside, it should be a penalty. But it is, I think, the placing of the offence that VAR are checking, rather than whether it's an offence or not.
And the decision about a yellow card and a red card could be changed if it was outside the box.
Penalty given. So the yellow card stays. And it certainly was a clear goal-scoring opportunity, so Azpilicueta, in a strange sense, probably relieved. Well, here he is, Aubameyang, who has had a wonderful season again, 27 goals, and he scored in every FA Cup tie that he's played in. That's not saying a huge amount. He's only the third. It would be an absolutely priceless goal for the team that he captains, and the club, of course, are desperate for him to stay and sign a new deal. That's still up in the air. Here he goes, Aubameyang, and he fires it in. And Arsenal are level, and the signs have been there, Stuart.
And them to score in exactly that sort of way. It's much the penalty, but the ball over the top. Movement down that left-hand side has been causing Chelsea problems. James and Azpilicueta haven't been quite sure who to pick up. Maitland-Niles or Aubameyang. And Aubameyang's run was brilliant. Timed it to perfection. The ball over the top was good. Yeah, the penalty is excellent. Right into the corner, but the arrow goes the wrong way. This is a man playing with great confidence. Look at that for a penalty.
I have a feeling he missed one in a North London derby here, when Spurs were playing at Wembley, at that end of the stadium as well. But no nerves betrayed, no nerves seen, and the ball bulges the back of the Chelsea net, and it is 1-1, and it's living up to those who predicted a good few goals today because of the defensive frailties of both these clubs from the capital. Pulisic early for Chelsea, Aubameyang from the spot for Arsenal when the two captains came together. Azpilicueta was penalised.
The ball was played into Giroud. David Luiz got tight to him. There's a knee in the back. I think that's what Giroud was trying to tell the referee. He was down, just standing there for a couple of seconds. Big scream as well. Bottom of the spine, there's Giroud.
I've seen more of a knee in the back than that one, but it is a painful spot to get it right at the base of the spine. And what it does do is hamper mobility if it stiffens up.
Setting up the goals, he hasn't been able to get the better of the centre-half so far, and balls are being played up to him.
He's kept out Tammy Abraham, who will be bursting to get the chance to play today. If it was at obviously not this way. Giroud is somewhat immobilised. Quite tied with David Luiz. His touch was superb. The Arsenal players have been sticking up for their Brazilian centre-back because he's had a lot of criticism, particularly when the restart happened and Arsenal were involved on the very first evening. David Luiz gave away a penalty, got sent off and looked like he would not play for Arsenal again. His deal was coming to an end. It had to be extended beyond June the 30th. And it seemed no way that Arsenal would do that, but Mikel Arteta believed in him. His teammates believed in him. The deal is done. He's got another year. And here's Pulisic. Anthony Taylor has given Arsenal a free kick.
I think he said that Alonso ran into the player that was just about to challenge Pulisic, and he held him off as the challenge was coming in.
Body check, well spotted.
Surprised the player that was trying to get there, Alonso committed the foul. More problems because Lacazette is going deeper at times, taking Zuma in with him, so Azpilicueta was defending a massive area up against Aubameyang.
There's been a huge demand physically on the players in this last 6 weeks period. So there might be a problem, maybe a muscle that's been overused over the last few weeks. A lot of games being involved in the FA Cup, as well as obviously finishing off the Premier League campaign with a lot at stake. And achieved their target, getting into the top four.
It's the player that's down, he's had to change back, he's had to make a lot of 40-yard sprints at the start of this game.
And there's Christensen is the most likely replacement, whether he'd go to the right side of the back three or to the middle of the back three where he's a little bit more often.
There's no contact with anybody, so it looks like he's definitely pulled a muscle here. That's a great example, great shot. And Zuma had gone infield or further forward with Lacazette, and the ball was played in behind him. He's done it on 3 or 4 occasions now, Azpilicueta. It's caused him to pull his hamstring.
The stretcher is on. And remember, this isn't the end of Chelsea's season today. They go to Munich to play Bayern next weekend. And then after that, it's not too long, of course, till the restart is scheduled for September the 12th.
That was the penalty. He did grab his shirt before he got into the box, and then it continued into the box.
I think that was the key, wasn't it? Aguero had a great League Cup final in his Manchester City days, saved 3 penalties in a shootout, but he couldn't save the penalty here from the Arsenal skipper. So Johnny Morris giving the instructions to Anders Christensen.
Slot into the right-hand side of that back three.
They move Zuma to the right, Zuma to the left. Really, they want to disrupt all 3 positions.
It's a big decision because the player that's going to cause the problems is Aubameyang with his runs that he's making exactly down that channel.
That's been part of, if you like, it is a wear and tear. The stress of the first 34 minutes here. Says Azpilicueta, who's had most of Arsenal's better attacks to deal with in that right centre-back position of the back three. And then got found wanting against the speed of Aubameyang for the penalty. And Jorginho gets the armband. And yes, Christensen is coming on, and the members of the back line just asking the question, and We've got our answer, Stuart, haven't we?
Yeah, he's gone into the middle. Zuma has gone to the right of the three. There he is heading the ball.
Pulisic. Over Giroud. Tierney. There's the ball again. It should run through to Caballero. It's the right kind of approach.
I don't understand is we're watching from a high on here, and you can see that Aubameyang was going to come short and spin in behind, but Zuma didn't read it. If the ball had been a perfect one, Aubameyang was going to get to it first. Zuma just has to drop off 5 yards, say, go on, if you want to hit into the space, I'll get there first. If you want to play it into his feet, then I'll make ground up as the ball's played in there.
Chelsea do need to find the goal-scoring thrust, which has been a key part of their season. And this might be a way to do it. And the confusion there between Jorginho and Marcos Alonso. Jorginho, who scored in both the league games against Arsenal this season, could have scored in the FA Cup final as well.
You see that so often. Alonso sets up Mason Mount here and then just continues his run into the area. It's a really poor effort from Jorginho. It's underneath it, the inside of his right boot. That was a chance. It's a right-footed play. He's just got to hit through the back of that.
It's just distracted more than the clean hit that the chance deserved, really. All here is their 101st of the season for Chelsea. They're ahead of Arsenal in that respect. Rudiger. There's a fair bit of talk about Pulisic and Aubameyang playing together at Borussia Dortmund, getting on very well together. And they both scored in the FA Cup final here at Wembley for their respective teams to set it up, really. And as has been said, us and many other, I'm sure many of you watching at home, this is a very hard final to call, to separate the ambition and the attacking talents of both these clubs. And Pepe's had a goal disallowed. Get to a shooting position again, went for the pass. And slide it through to Lacazette. It's brought out by Kovacic. Well, the gates are not open here, but the football is. Zuma in his slightly adjusted position.
Starting to thought that Chelsea were going to dominate the game. They were going to create chance after chance with the formation they were playing, the space they were getting in behind Arsenal's midfield. But it's all changed in the last 20 minutes or so. It's a more confident side.
Surely there'll be movement in the goalkeeping market from Chelsea. Marisa Balaga virtually phased out at the end of the season. Sometimes if you play in the last league game and there's a cup game to come, the other goalkeeper gets to go in the cup. He hasn't been accorded that privilege. He's only played in one of the rounds. And, he did beat Liverpool. Beating Liverpool and Manchester United, and then Arsenal will be quite a way to win the FA Cup for Chelsea.
Sides have got here games out of the way for Arsenal going against Manchester City, which nobody expected them to win.
So Reece James in that infield full-back position again. That Chelsea use as well as Arteta and the other influence on the Gunners. Those almost 40-year-old legs. Keep it in, the kick's not a great one. Now Aubameyang kicks off Rudiger. Tentative defending again. Ceballos. Pepe gets the cross in. Headed back across. And just pulled away at the far post, as he did when he scored the first goal against Manchester City. Still waiting in the middle. Arsenal threaten again. They must have drawn great heart from the way they knocked out the holders in the semi-final. And even going at an early goal down here hasn't knocked them out of their stride. 5 minutes to go to half-time. By Xhaka. By Bayeri. There's Dani Ceballos. It's an engaging game. David Luiz. So 4 players up the field, strung across the field. There's David Luiz. Tierney. Drop it over James again. Maitland-Niles making the run. Comes across to Pepe. To look like a crossing position, but it's Pepe who puts it in. Caballero went for it, didn't get there. Must have got a little bit on it because it's a corner. He's turning it away from Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who was roaring in beyond the far post.
And this is a good delivery from Pepe, just bending it. James on that far side. That's the touch. That's the touch. Got too much on that.
Signed out rather unconvincingly. Chelsea don't have the wood in this attack yet, but they should be now. Well, I say they should be, but they're certainly not. And Pepe's shot was blocked. Chelsea, who started the half with a swagger, are ending it with a struggle or two.
You're absolutely right. At the moment, Chelsea are all over the place defensively. Got the ball clear, to hit up front. That's why Alonso was in two minds what he was going to do. He was onside when the ball was played to him. As it was with the first block. Arsenal very much in the ascendancy here.
It's in from Pepe deep towards Aubameyang again. Another corner. Rob Holding is decent in the air, trying to make a use of himself just beyond the far post.
Jorginho that got the final touch on it. His holding strength, his ability in the air. One defensively, he is good in the air.
Arsenal really enjoying themselves at the moment. Can they get another goal to show for it and go in at half-time in front? Away by Holding. Was looking for some support. He nearly had the ball taken off his right foot, but he just got the pass away in time. Chelsea under a bit of pressure. There's 10 points higher, 4 places higher in the Premier League than opponents at Wembley. Rudiger. By Bayeri. Keeps going. Can't quite manufacture across. He has been helping, not actually manufacture, but design the Arsenal club suits for this final. He's got an interest in the fashion business. Oh, is it going to be another penalty? Anthony Taylor might have given it on the edge. He was looking through bodies to see exactly where the offence occurred.
I think he knew it was a foul, it's just where it was. It was just outside the box. Christensen, not sure he some of the ball here. Anything wrong, he falls over as he tries to change direction. Good chance here for Arsenal.
That's a great chance.
Just making the point. She didn't touch him. He fell over as he changed direction.
And, you could see Anthony Taylor almost dropped to his knees to peer through was between him and the incident. And he didn't quite see it perfectly.
There's a few players on this Arsenal side that have a go at this free kick. David Luiz is known for scoring 2 excellent free kicks with that technique that he uses.
For those 2 players in front of the wall, Arsenal colours have have to be a metre away from the ball. That's nothing to do with social distancing, it's the laws of the game. Lacazette took it on. Not sure he would have been the favourite when the free kick was given, but obviously maybe plan B or plan C, but it didn't produce the goal that could take Arsenal in at half-time, leading 2-1.
He's trying to wrap his foot round it, but it was a very poor effort in the end. Big chance as well, but Arteta will be very pleased with the way the last 25 minutes have gone. His team have been in control.
They don't want the half to come to an end, and they've got 5 more minutes of added time. About the injury to Azpilicueta, which needed the substitution. Also, of course, the drinks break has to be factored in. VAR having a look also has to be factored in. It's good to see that, especially with a half like this, it's his opening first half, and I guess equally spread. Well, obviously last year Manchester City rocked it against Watford. There was a lot of attacking play in that, but you don't get that many cup finals where both teams score. If you look back down the years, the majority is a win to nil. So we've got a bonus when this game has gone, and the way the defending has been, there might be more goals in the offing. Sometimes with two teams with a week to prepare for a final, knowing that their Achilles heels are defending, the coaches spend the whole week working on the defending, and you end up with a game full of attritional football. Obviously hasn't been the case at Arsenal and Chelsea over the past 5 or 6 days. It's been a very good watch, and I hope wherever you're watching it, you're appreciating the quality of the play and the significance of the game, and it's not awash with noise as it normally would be.
Giroud should be attacking the ball rather than waiting for it to come to him. The error has to go long because Arsenal are pressing the back three of Chelsea. He's got to start winning balls in the air and linking up the play. He's going to be a very frustrated man at half-time, Frank Lampard. First 15 minutes, two wide players came infield and found space. The two holding midfield players got on the ball and made things happen. Giroud won a couple of balls in the air.
He does get his head to that one. James trying to join in. It's similar to the semi-final for Arsenal in that they had some dicey moments in the first 10 or 15 minutes against Manchester City, but got away with them. They didn't get away with the one that led to the Pulisic opening goal. But from that position, they grew in confidence. And again, here, and probably will be thinking, well, actually, it could be the team going in front.
And trying to do the opposite to Maitland-Niles on that occasion. Forward run, try and break the offside line, take Maitland-Niles into a position he didn't want to be in.
It's only Aubameyang really making Lacazette quite likes to come deep and get it to feet.
He's also coming deep to leave the space for Aubameyang to run into. Always leaving 1v1 against was Azpilicueta, now it's Zuma. The last pass wasn't quite good enough.
Giroud. He's on, but there's a little bit of a push by Mason Mount, who first came to Wembley as a Portsmouth supporter in 2008, came to the semi-final here, and the final, of course, which was won by Pompey. Maybe have been 7 or something like that, Mason Mount. And of course it was won, the FA Cup won by an English manager, Harry Redknapp, who is the uncle of Frank Lampard. Next in line, the Englishman to the team as a manager to FA Cup triumph. We've got a Spaniard who's trying to follow in the footsteps of the likes of Rafa Benitez and Roberto Martinez. And of course, Pep Guardiola.
Mason Mount losing possession, then tries to win it back. That's the foul. I'm not sure he does too much again. Sabaz actually puts his foot into Mason Mount. He's a bit unlucky there.
Yeah, it's interesting, it's all on the referee now. The part of the players shouting for it. You've got no crowd. If it had been at the end, say, where the Arsenal fans would be judging by where the decking is, no Crystal Palace will be behind the end, but the Gunners are attacking here. And a real roar for the free kick. Trying his luck. Into the right wing-back position ahead of Xhaka. Here is David Luiz. Chelsea were to break. Here he is, the Brazilian. Former Chelsea man. 3 different spells at Stamford Bridge. Maitland-Niles. Well, it's half-time in a very engrossing FA Cup final here at a very quiet Wembley. Mikel Arteta will be pleased with the way his team have come back after conceding a very early goal inside 5 minutes to Christian Pulisic. And Arsenal looked a little short of their best, but they had a goal disallowed from Nicola Pepe, and then Aubameyang got away, was brought down by Azpilicueta for a penalty. Azpilicueta later had to go off. Chelsea had to make a defensive change as well. The Arsenal skipper banged in the spot kick. At half-time here in the FA Cup final, it is Arsenal 1, Chelsea 1. Of course, it has to be decided here. We've got extra time if required. We've got a penalty shootout if required. We do start the second half level. And straight away there's a ball into the area where Arsenal have had a lot of joy in the first half, and where Chelsea have had to make a change as well. They're going to keep doing that, Stuart, do you think, or will Chelsea get wise to it?
Well, I think that's been their game plan. They did it against Manchester City, and it worked for them. It's the movement of Maitland-Niles that is causing the most problems, and also Lacazette. Although Aubameyang is the threat with his movement in behind and his pace, it's the movement of those other two players. It's just creating space for Aubameyang to run into.
Rudiger goes long. And off by Giroud. And Pulisic's on his way, and he could go all the way here. In the end, went for a bit of placement.
Looks like he might have pulled his hamstring as well. What a good run it was, a set-up play by Giroud into Pulisic. But watch Tierney here. Holding isn't particularly quick. Holding can't catch, but Tierney runs away from the danger area and just allows Pulisic to run towards goal. And as he tries to bend it with the inside of his right foot, I think he's just pulled his hamstring here. That's bad news for him, bad news for Chelsea. Big chance. You can see he's actually screaming before he took the shot. That's why he probably didn't get it on target. Look, he's already starting to scream.
It's gone, hasn't it?
Yeah. That's a major blow right at the start of the second half for Chelsea.
All credit to him, because he must have known for a fraction of a second that he would be going off, and he could have been going off with 2 to his name, and Chelsea back in front. Callum Hudson-Odoi is one possible alternative. It's brains trust there. But Willian not fit to be involved on the team sheet today. Maybe he'll be fit for the Champions League game in Munich, but it could be that he's played his last game for the club. His contract's up. There is talk even of him taking up an offer from Arsenal.
There's also Pedro that could come on. He's been in the favour a little bit at Chelsea since Frank Lampard took over.
It's not just Chelsea are in the wars. Tierney looks like he's going the same way as Azpilicueta, similar injury. And again, we emphasise the number of games that have been played since restart in a very short space of time. The clubs were adamant they wanted longer to prepare, get the players up to the right level of fitness. They've actually, it is Pedro who's going to come on with his greater experience. And Pulisic, well, he's left an imprint on the final, nearly 2. 2 injuries to strain and stretch not just the muscles but Chelsea's resources.
He got away from Holding, hadn't he? Holding was really struggling at the pace. Decision to go across the field and not come across and block the runner.
We're talking about players leaving the club. Pedro, of course, is bound for Serie A and Roma until the workload this campaign is finished.
He had a hit-and-miss career, I would say, at Chelsea. Pedro, the manager liked him, and Antonio Conte was a regular for him. He hasn't been quite so keen on him.
Just turned 33, Pedro. His best days maybe behind him, but he's certainly got the potential for cameo here. And he's a very vibrant player. Vibrant like that.
There's the pace again, or lack of it from Holding. Good pace from Pedro, just coming on. Not that much of a warm-up. Good first touch. He stays in the middle. Cross him there. Maybe not. He just about got back and got a block in, but there's the threat. Pedro with his pace.
Giroud trying to get free. Alonso's good in the air as well. And well played by Emi Martinez. He's done a very good job. We haven't really mentioned that he's the backup goalkeeper. Leno was injured down at Brighton back in June. And Arsenal lost that game. The moments weren't good. Martinez has done an exemplary job. He's actually been at the club for 10 years since he was signed as a youth player from his native Argentina. Finally getting a run in the first team. He's been out on loan more times than he cares to remember. Through the middle. In the end, Pepe had strayed from the opposite side. The same kind of area, different player trying to capitalise on any Chelsea weaknesses on the right side of their defending.
And that was better defending. Rudiger saw the run, went back and dealt with it. Christensen was taken further up the field by the movement of Lacazette.
Tierney's got a decent length to the throw. Was quick off the mark there, and actually probably was fouled. He's turning to the referee and saying that. Then goes on. Tierney. Pepe again, well claimed. Very well claimed by Caballero. Moving himself to the interception. They're getting Pepe into the game. There's no doubting his talent, just a lack of consistency in his first season. And he could round it off by putting Arsenal into Europe. James.
There's always a question what his best position was when he came from Lille. He was across the front three when he was Liga. And he found his best position out on that right-hand side, coming in on his left foot.
At the moment, he's out on the left and Aubameyang on the opposite flank. Also trying to squeeze Chelsea in. James flicks it on. Again. Zuma, a popular member of the Chelsea squad. Happy-go-lucky, friendly guy. James. Looking for Giroud. In the end, Rob Holding did just about enough. Giroud was edging away from him. Jacket. Lacazette stopped by Rudiger. Giroud. Seen a great deal of Mason Mount, apart from that early shot. Forced Martinez into a good save. And he's not going to get that. Ball played back. This direction by Kovacic.
There's just a chance there for Kovacic to use the outside of his right boot to bend it into the space. Mason Mount.
Lacazette. Well to keep it under some challenge. Pepe. It's not in the mood. Anthony Taylor's not in the mood to give him a free kick there, though.
Arteta went mad on the side. I'm not sure who he was going mad at. I think he's going mad at Pepe there, rather than the referee. He was away from his man before he threw himself to the ground.
It's good tussling from Lacazette to get his lows as well as highs with Arsenal. He hasn't always been in the team. The balance, should they play him with Aubameyang? I think they found the way that it works with Aubameyang liking to come from the left-hand side. They do depend on the two for goals. Martinelli, the young Brazilian who had a very good spell midway through the season, was out for a while through injury. Nketiah, who was suspended from the semi-final, is available on the bench today. Aubameyang. There it is. Ceballos. Interesting mindset here, Stuart. Now both sides have had their periods of supremacy in the first half. Both got a goal in those periods of supremacy. Now we're getting to the business end of the final. Got a lot to gain, but a fair bit to lose if you overcommit.
I think at the moment Arsenal a slightly better side. It's difficult for Chelsea to get up the pitch at the moment, apart from that run through the second in Pedro. Actually, a combination for them to get themselves higher up the field.
Giroud, Tisling, Luis, who pulls him back. You might expect a yellow card for that. Anthony Taylor not shown any inclination to produce one.
What you saw Giroud was actually holding the shirt of David Luiz to start with. Should have been the foul the other way. That's when once he got turned, that's when David Luiz fouled him. It's difficult for referees when two players are challenging in the air and challenging for a dropping ball. There's going to be contact.
Kovacic, Jorginho, the substitute Andreas Christensen. James. No sign of either manager departing from the defensive system. Christensen nearly caught. Is that closing him down? It's an excellent piece of distribution by Caballero. It's going to link with Manuel Neuer, of course, for Chelsea. Whether when they get to Munich, there might be some business being done next weekend.
Wouldn't be a bad signing, would it, Manuel Neuer?
Doing business in Germany, Chelsea. Havertz apparently on their radar as well, although everybody's been at pains to deny that. And Leverkusen, his present club, here's Jorginho. And it was one chase with plenty of gusto by Mason Mount, who is good at breaking from slightly deeper positions to get in behind. Quite sure Arsenal have got a chance to break here. Pepe, Lacazette. He knew the ball was on to Aubameyang, but he can't. First touch wasn't great. Chelsea haven't cleared the danger yet. Granit Xhaka probably doesn't shoot as much as the Arsenal fans want him to do. He had a crack that time, it's way off target. Chelsea got away with this.
Aubameyang was in space for a lot of the time here. Someone has to go across to try and cover the run of Lacazette, and Aubameyang was free, but Lacazette couldn't quite get it there with the pace he wanted, and Christensen got himself into a good position eventually. The first touch from Aubameyang wasn't quite good enough.
He likes to come in onto his right foot like that, but it would have been better. There was more space down the other side. Again, easy to see from where we're sitting, but not so easy to put into practice when the ball's coming your way. An exponent of the art of getting goals from outside to in. Aubameyang. Not that time. Here's Rudiger. Pedro turned it into a pass. Jorginho. Now Mount. Nicely brought down. First time by James. A wave of appreciation from Giroud, but it nearly found Alonso. Can be an extra threat coming round the back, and the wing-back position allows him to gamble into those areas.
And that's one of his major strengths, Alonso. Far post, heading the ball.
Wembley record. He scored Chelsea win when Tottenham were the tenants here. He scored 2 in a 2-1 success in the London derby against Arsenal's rivals. Chelsea get a free kick.
Just coming into the back of Mason Mount. Almost had a chance, didn't he, when he made that run from outside to in. Holding, got away from Holding again, showed a lack of pace when he was chasing back. He was looking to play that ball forward.
James. 1-1 at Wembley. Coming up to the hour mark. James has a crack. It's out to Lacazette. Now Pepe. He's getting into trouble in the shape of Rudiger. Bounce back up, and then it's back up again. Anthony Taylor's given the free kick. It certainly looked a foul. We're a long way away.
As well, just to lift it over the challenge. Just lifts it up in the air, and Alonso, poor effort to make contact with the ball. Clear foul. So been in the game more in the second half. Pepe.
Balancing act for these two relatively inexperienced managers. Both very fine players. We've had the midfield battles in this fixture down the years.
Decision Lampard have to make is whether he brings on Tammy Abraham at some point, so they've got more pace running in behind Arsenal. Who's never going to run in behind David Luiz?
Problem that he's got, of course, is he's made 2 substitutions at specific times. Make a change at half-time, so he's got 1 more in 90 minutes. He's got 1 more bout of substitutes. If he brings on 1, then he can't bring on anybody else. He can bring on another substitute, of course. Time. Sometimes you do find 2 and then followed by 3 in one go, or the 5 that are allowed. Is bring them on in separate occasions. So it would be quite a unique person to be the 6th substitute used by a club in an FA Cup final, which is possible. Here's Pedro trying to settle it in 90 minutes, Chelsea's way. So check back and encourage James to have another crack. At least they're working one player, and it's Reece James more often than not into shooting positions after a passive end to the first half for Chelsea.
There's good play from Kovacic just to play it round the corner. Could he have a strike there? I thought he could. He got away from David Luiz. James is in a worse position. It's a poor effort in the end. It's off the outside of his boot. They were finding space in that first 20 minutes. One of the wide players coming in behind Arsenal's midfield. Kovacic played a lovely ball round the corner to Pedro.
Jorginho. He's trying to get to him. Arsenal do feel if they can dispossess Jorginho, who wants the ball all the time, they can get behind him with the pace that they might have that Jorginho lacks. His composure mostly kept the ball.
That's a different, isn't he, Jorginho?
He does. Here he is. Christensen joins it. A tighter second half. Suitably even. Final was always hard to call. Arsenal struggling to get it away. Knocked down by Pedro. That's a handball. Going to get the throw.
A moment there when Mason Mount was running with the ball and a couple of players were trying to just pinch it off him. Chance they've got in the penalty way there, Arsenal.
Chelsea did win the cup 2 years ago with a penalty. Eden Hazard. It's Manchester United. watching on with interest. Unless he's got a game, I'm not sure. Decent ball, and Maitland-Niles pops it up. Better from Chelsea this, a period of a bit more domination.
Just forcing Arsenal back that little bit more now. Here's the ball played into the box. Maitland-Niles was in a good position there.
Zuma. Nice. First touch was a heavy one. Made sure he made a legitimate second touch and got it out of harm's way. Giving away 5 penalties this season, Alvarez. Jorginho spraying the passes, goes wider this time. So did well to keep it in. It's more good work from Chelsea this. Doesn't give Arsenal some problems. They get another corner.
Mount has just gone over to that left-hand side for the moment. Pedro's come to the right. Good bits of play. Making those diagonal runs.
There's the tide starting to turn. The club down by the Thames. Sunshine and shade around Martinez. Keepers don't seem to wear caps these days.
He was the player that headed it away. Zuma probably just pushed into the back of him here. Not too much, right? Just the arm comes out. I think he tries to say it was a head injury. There was no contact with his head.
Billy Gilmour, right to be in Chelsea's midfield today. Shows some outstanding promise, a young Scot through the Rangers system in Scotland. Needed surgery. Chelsea's casualty list is mounting with the 2 injuries here today. Maitland-Niles into Ceballos. And holding. 2 of Arsenal's successful team against Chelsea in 2017.
Missed an opportunity there to play the ball forward. Mikel made a brilliant run on the side of Rudiger.
Drops for Bellerin to go forward here. He's got Pepe outside him and he's going on through the middle. Christensen stretches across but only plays it to Pepe, who can keep going. Arsenal got an overload here. Aubameyang. Can he find a way through? You bet he can! That is top class! And from 1-0 down, Aubameyang has personally turned it round. 2 in the semi-final, 2 in the final. It's Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1.
Well, there was a challenge in midfield. Chelsea might say was a foul. What a finish it was from Aubameyang. Again, he found space on this left-hand side. We talk about him coming in on his right foot, bending balls into the corner, and he used that to his own advantage here. Bellerin does well. Charges through a couple of challenges. This is the challenge. Christensen wins the ball. Does Bellerin catch him? That's what VAR would be looking at. He's certainly onside, Aubameyang. He threatens to shoot with his right foot, chops it back onto his left, and what a clever finish into the far corner. Good run from Bellerin, but is it a foul here? I think that is a foul. Christensen, he's late. Christensen won the ball. What a finish it was from Aubameyang.
Well, the check is complete, the goal stands, and it's come as the last act before the 3-quarter mark if we finish in 90 minutes. But here's a player who's been talking about needing to leave, to better himself. Arsenal have given him responsibility, they've made him captain, they've said, we want you, we desperately need to keep you, go and win us the FA Cup, you'll have European football, and hopefully Arteta will be thinking, the board will back the contract that Aubameyang wants, and goodness me, surely Stuart deserves.
Absolutely, he's been outstanding for Arsenal. The first season he came, he didn't make quite as well as people expected him to. He wasn't found the right position for him, but coming off this left-hand side onto his right foot, making those diagonal runs. The game plan is all based around Aubameyang and how he can find space and other players work, give him that little bit of room to run into. It's now Frank Lampard that's got the big problems. Aubameyang has been brilliant. This is where it started. They're in.
Well, you said he hadn't played it forward just before that, and he decided to go forward to good effect.
Both players were on the ground, and then himself up to just see enough of the finish from Aubameyang.
Well, we said the one earlier, a few minutes earlier, where he went in on his right foot and didn't take the option of the left, maybe thinking that he couldn't do it on the left. And he did it brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly.
Keep coming in on your right, what players eventually, they try and block the right, and then he can chop it back onto his left.
Christensen needed a bit of attention, and Bellerin as well, both back on. And Chelsea, who were just looking as though they were the team in the ascendancy, is Giroud trying to figure it on. Actually, if he got a big header on it, he might have looped it over Martinez, who see maybe the potential danger there.
At the moment, doesn't look as though he's going to get on the end of anything. He's had a very comfortable game up against him.
Forward by Zuma. Zuma to chase his own flick. David Luiz in control. Tierney, a little bit fortunate that got through to Lacazette. Arsenal's throw. 20 minutes to go. And still the possibility of going.
He won't be coming on. Timo Werner might do next season.
He was at the last game, the last league game. He's obviously betting himself into life in London. And we wish him well. I'd love to be able to use him now.
I was going to say, what an addition he will be. Going on for Frank Lampard here. Two players off with injuries. Christensen's limping around the middle centre. Oh, one of the subs that he's put on.
Arsenal got worked over a bit by Manchester City, 1-0 and 2-0, but stood firm in the semi-final. And they need similar resilience. Forward holding, backpedaling, pleased to get the header and not to have to chase back towards his own goal. Here's Marcus Alonso. Alonso's there again. Most decisive clearance, certainly the highest of the day. A nibbling challenge.
Be careful, it's Kovacic.
Yeah.
He's actually booked one of the Arsenal players for appealing for a booking. One of the Arsenal players ran up to the referee and waved an imaginary card.
1 minute.
Anthony Taylor, and that's why he got booked. I'm not sure who it was.
Kovacic has survived. Anthony Taylor using Aubameyang maybe as a sounding board, the Arsenal skipper.
Sending off, he sent off Kovacic.
Oh, he had to think about it, and he's given the second yellow to Kovacic. It gets worse and worse for Chelsea. It did look like that in the first place. And Anthony Taylor took his time.
That's a poor decision. It is again. He's making every attempt to go for the ball. Xhaka makes the most of it.
It's the same two players involved as in the first yellow card.
And then one of the Arsenal players, it's Ceballos, who got the yellow card as well, because he was waving an imaginary yellow card at the referee. I think that's a poor decision.
Met before, you might remember Victor Moses was sent off in the cup final. Chelsea. 10 men, a man down, a goal down. It's in Arsenal's hands now, you feel.
Something going on off the ball here between Lacazette and Christensen.
Yes. Taylor's got some more sorting out to do, and it's spilling over here. And sometimes you think it's fueled by the crowd that rile the passions of the players, but we've got no excuse for this now. Yes, it's a major competition, so no yellow card this time for Rudiger.
Confrontation with Mikel Arteta over on that far side. Arteta wanted to give the ball back quickly enough.
He gets booked, Arteta as well. Of course, the new system that's come in, that cards go to those in the dugouts as well. Of course, they have been reported and sent off in previous incarnations of the laws of the game, but now it's the same as the players. He'll take that if he goes home with the FA Cup.
Absolutely. The team are in the ascendancy now, 2-1 up into 10 men. The other way round in the league game at Stamford Bridge. Still got it back.
It's going Ross Barkley and Tammy Abraham.
He's got to get more legs on the pitch. He must get more legs on the pitch now. Lampard.
Unless he hopes to get extra time, he's got to get 3 on in one go, hasn't he? And he's got Callum Hudson-Odoi joining those other 2 as well. This is the way the extra substitutes can be accommodated. It's to stop games with 10 individual substitutions in one half of football, maybe 20 minutes of football. So you have 3 goes plus half-time where you can make changes. Don't interfere with the other 3. Here's Pepe. Arsenal looking to kill it off, and you're thinking about Aubameyang, a hat-trick in the cup final. Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling both got doubles last season. It's only happened at Wembley, the old Wembley, once. Back in 1953 with Stan Mortensen of Blackpool, in a game that's remembered as the Stan Matthews final. Stan Mortensen to live with that for the rest of his life, and he got a hat-trick. He got a winner's medal, perhaps thanks to Stan Matthews.
Mason Mount has now gone back into the midfield position alongside Jorginho. He's going to try and make as many runs as he can to support Giroud, probably coming off in a minute for Tammy Abraham.
It's interesting, older viewers might recall cup finals of bygone times before substitutes were allowed, any substitutes. There were major injuries in this showpiece game. Rather ruined the competitive nature of a lot of them. So there's pressure because of that. Martinez has committed himself a little bit riskily there.
It wasn't good play from Holding to start with, just kicked the ball straight up in the air. Martinez a mess of it.
This conforms to protocol. Giroud, as forecasted by Stuart Robson, goes off. Rudiger, who's been booked, also departs. And Mason Mount as well. So that's the 5 permitted by Chelsea in 90 minutes.
Well, there's the man that's going to play through the middle, Tammy Abraham.
Different kind of centre forward.
Go to just 2 centre-halves now, and the 3 Rudiger going off. We will join Jorginho in central midfield, and Hudson-Odoi will start on the right-hand side, Pedro on the left.
There's Pedro. Abraham on the move in the middle. Hudson-Odoi coming in behind him.
It's good play from Pedro. Left-hand side, 1v1 against Holding. Just swept the ball to the byline and a good crossing.
Tierney flung himself at it, but didn't touch it. The try goes Arsenal's way. Look at the watch from Frank Lampard. It's a weird thing to say, probably. Forgive me for saying it if you think it's weird. But they really need to try and win it, Chelsea, in 90 minutes. Because if they get an equaliser and go to extra time, only 10 men, even though half of them will be a bit fresher. Still will be held by Arsenal.
Arsenal will make a substitution as well. Ketia, the man coming on.
Jorginho. Ooh, that's close. That's close. Martinez suddenly grabbed it at the last minute, thinking he was coming out to head it away from Abraham. Flag stayed down. Checked and not found to be handball, otherwise we'd have had another twist of the drum. It was an instinctive reaction. The Arsenal keeper now is playing as an orthodox right back. Just for the record, Kevin Moran, Manchester United against Everton, Jose Antonio Reyes, Arsenal against Manchester United, Pablo Zabaleta, Manchester City against Wigan, Chris Smalling, United against Palace, Victor Moses, Chelsea against Arsenal, and now Mateo Kovacic, Chelsea against Arsenal, FA Cup final red card.
I think he's very unlucky on both accounts. I thought that Xhaka committed the foul in the first place, the same two players went for the next one. There's hardly any contact. He's made a big call, the referee, Anthony Taylor, on two occasions. I think he's got it wrong.
Lacazette gives way. It's not a defensive move from Arteta. Another central striker. Promising Eddie Nketiah, who started the season on loan at Leeds. So I guess he could get a Championship medal and an FA Cup winners' medal in the same season.
Busy afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think amongst the rank and file refereeing fraternity, no disrespect to Anthony Taylor at all, but they felt that this policy down the years of its once-in-a-lifetime chance, and by Tierney, skewed away in the end by Zuma. But there should be a senior referee who's around in the Premier League panel at the moment that could have got the final, not Anthony Taylor. Not, as I say, any disrespect to the match official today. 8 minutes plus stoppage time away from being the outcome that Frank Lampard here dreaming of. Maitland-Niles into the corner of Jorginho. Arsenal in no great hurry to take it.
A couple of times Jorginho's had to be in the danger area to get balls away with his head. Stopped his watch.
There are regulations, of course, about disinfecting the footballs, and sort of put around the ground can be used. And the ball boys, corner for Arsenal. Aubameyang couldn't reach it. Ooh, there's a nasty call there for Danny Ceballos. When you're 2-1 up in a cup final, you make light of it, but I bet it's a sore one.
The youngsters have got to do it for Chelsea now. Tony Abraham, Hudson Odoi, into the future, well this season.
Ross Barkley's their top scorer in the cup, isn't he? So there will be another moment for the ex-Everton man. See, the balls are put on those little plinths there. was regularly tested, of course, for COVID-19 by Tierney, not very far away by Marcus Alonso, collected by Pepe, wedges in the ball that James only half clears. Katia in the mix, holding well forward. The flag is up for offside. Bezic. A lot of FA Cup tradition in the Lampard family. His dad, Frank Senior, won it a couple of times with West Ham. By Maitland-Niles. Ceballos coming up for the shot. Just took too many touches, allowed Zuma to get in the way of it.
Chelsea playing themselves into trouble. Not too long, they've got to go that little bit longer. You're a man down, it's very difficult to play it from the back of the opposition, try and press you. Luiz has got a problem.
The unmistakable figure of David Luiz. Was magnificent in the semi-final and has been pretty good today. He's had to live with a lot of criticism for, as I say, the odd howler, maybe regularly getting away penalties, getting red cards. But he's been at the top level for a long time. He has a lot going for him as well. But, his distinctive hairstyle and his personality. This is Socrates, who actually hasn't played for Arsenal since the restart. So it looks as though he's going to be needed here. Mustafi, of course, not fit at the beginning. And Luiz looks as though come back on. He's a warrior. Given that the replacement is somebody who hasn't played any competitive football since back in March. What's happening, says Socrates, looking for a bit of wisdom from somewhere else.
Throws his arms up in the air. I don't think he's too happy, is he? I thought he was coming on.
Arsenal down to 10 men. It's 10 against 10. Chelsea take advantage of that.
That's what they have to do. They have to get them back to front, Chelsea, a little bit quicker.
David Luiz, I think, has accepted that he is going off. Maybe not his own will. The Greek defender comes on for the last 3 minutes plus stoppage time, unless the Arsenal defence, which has now had to make a change, is breached and Chelsea can take it to extra time. 2-1, as it was 3 years ago in the Gunners' favour. There's also a sending off. Barkley. James. There's Christensen. Jorginho wanting to play a bit more forward than that. Barkley was available. Jorginho back on the ball again. And there's another card out for Ross Barkley this time.
How many times you see a player sent off when they lose possession of the ball and then try and win it back? He thinks he can take it beyond the player. Stretches. He does catch. Ketia. That challenge is worse than either of the two that Kovacic made.
And it's a Barkley card at Wembley. Chelsea have to be in a hurry. All the big calls, really, they will feel have gone against them here. Certainly the injuries, Abraham knocks it down. Arsenal clear through holding. James. Work by Reece James. Chelsea need that kind of inspiration. Where's he going to go with it? Barkley. And Pedro, all positive energy. That's the goalkeeper can pick up. Well, I know you're totally impartial, Stuart. That's why you're here. But your old club getting close to another FA Cup success.
I think they deserved it on the way they dominated that last 20-25 minutes of the first half, the way they started the second half. Not won it yet, there's still going to be another 7 minutes added on at the end of the game.
Pedro. Yes, I only heard that after I'd asked you the question. So apologies for dropping you in it. 7 could be significant minutes to go. 1 goal in the second half. There's confirmation. It was 7. A little bit of heaven for Chelsea. Renew their energies. James. Man-like, but a lot of substitutes on. Alonso's done well here. Very miscalculated. And Chelsea get a corner.
He did really well there, Alonso. Thought he could win the first ball. Big diagonal from Jorginho. You can look at it. Oh, that's a poor challenge from Bellerin.
Still getting Alonso forward, despite the fact that they've taken one of their centre-backs off. They'll throw everything they possibly can. All the work that's been done at set pieces. And that's what Emi Martinez has done emphatically since he got the chance when Bert Leno was injured down at Brighton. Yeah, it's a heavy fall, but late in the game, disrupt Chelsea. Good goalkeeping.
Good goalkeeping. It's not a particularly good set play. Nobody's around that near post area, but they were trying to isolate Alonso up against Tierney. I'm not quite sure, but there's every chance that the goalkeeper Martinez was going to come and catch it.
What I would say is if they were to lose him, the reserve goalkeeper's never played in the first team. Matt Macy. It's now biting for Chelsea, and indeed for Arsenal, who want to get the job done. Emi Martinez, 10 years a gunner, but not often in the place, not often in the house. Down the byways of English football, going out on loan. And he said his last loan would be his last one, that was at Reading. He's coming back to make his family proud in Argentina. He broke their hearts really when he left as a 16-year-old to come and join Arsenal's youth setup. And it was very difficult for him. He's a few minutes away from how worthwhile it is, but now Pedro. Martinez is needed again.
It was almost good play from Pedro. He took it into a position where he could get the cross in. You usually expect him to hit a better cross than that. He's been excellent. Martinez has got into the side.
He's rather kicked it away here. When with an extra man, you think Arsenal would be better at retaining possession. It's a little bit of, not panic, but nerves coming in. Ceballos, it's another of those where he's reaching for a ball. Jorginho did well to get there before him, and here's Ross Barkley. Inspiration, Chelsea need it. One of the young players maybe like Reece James gets the cross in. Arsenal defend it and break out, see the counter-attack. Aubameyang on a hat-trick, of course. Even though he's seen as a foul, Taylor has had some interesting calls to make. Nketiah judged to have run into the challenge. Halfway through the added time. Chelsea desperate to take it to extra time. Barkley. Pedro. Goalkeeper's ball again.
Getting it from one end to the other pretty well at the moment, Chelsea. Arsenal going that little bit longer, but the final pass hasn't been good enough. There was a chance to roll it inside of holding for Tammy Abraham, but just hit too firmly. At least he has posed a threat in behind.
Arteta gets his head to it. Aubameyang doesn't. It's Arsenal's throw, and a few more seconds pass, and well, the game's never up. The final whistle. Frank Lampard's been in the game a long time, even though he's a young manager. The man from Gabon has been spot on for Arsenal.
It's been the difference between the teams. So many problems in that first half. He's got his 2 goals.
By Jorginho. To line by Hudson-Odoi. Christensen. Zuma says, give it to me. Alonso's well forward down that far side. And, Chelsea get the second ball, and they get the numbers. Barkley on the edge, he's got a good shot from range. And he wants to get it onto his right foot and try again. Looks for a give and go, it might still come back to him. Arsenal could be in trouble here. Challenge on the edge, not seen as a foul. So Pepe can't keep it. Running around Arsenal a bit like headless chickens now. And out comes Martinez. Martinez the bold, Martinez the brave.
Good goalkeeping. They did well. Lost a couple of challenges. Wasn't given. I couldn't believe it. They won the ball back, and Pedro obviously down the side of Socrates, who does well just to get his body in the way. Good defending from the player that's just come on.
Yet another. Chelsea be struggling to get a squad to go to Munich next weekend. It's like down his shoulder. Ross, I can now ask you about Arsenal's general level of performance. They're so close.
Well, I think it's the first 20 minutes they were struggling desperately. The challenge which wasn't given, probably should have been given as a foul. But you have to give credit to Mikel Arteta. He didn't change the tactics, but he got his way of playing over to the players. Aubameyang, Lacazette. The movement was excellent to get Aubameyang in behind Chelsea's back 3. It's going to have a really troublesome time with the movement of Aubameyang. And the game plan that Mikel Arteta has tried to install into Arsenal over the last few weeks is starting to see the rewards of it. He's done well since he's been the manager of Arsenal. They've had 1 or 2 poor performances, poor results, but they've got better, discipline-wise, tactically. I think he's getting the best out of some of his key players.
Said Kolasinac is coming on. As if Pedro goes off, there's no other replacement. Chelsea will end with 9.
They're bringing the oxygen. He hasn't dislocated his shoulder here, because that is a very painful injury.
And with his move to Roma, as that will have been a deal that's been done. Here's the penalty won by Aubameyang, the penalty converted by Aubameyang to bring Arsenal level. And then this sublime, confident finish shows that he is a cut above the rest.
It is a great finish from him, great chopping it from his right foot onto his left. But what we saw there in the replay is that when Zuma goes to close him down by putting his arms behind his back to stop the ball hitting his arms in case he gives a penalty away, he just loses balance, and it allows Aubameyang to go beyond him. Good skill, you have to say, but that's one of the things that, putting your hands behind your back, you cause yourself a problem defensively.
Well, Giroud's fortune in the FA Cup has finally come to an end. David Luiz, who made the move in the opposite directions on the right end of it. But for Chelsea, it could hardly have gone worse, really. With Aspilicueta off injured. Pulisic off injured. Their goal scorer, Pulisic, off injured. Kovacic sent off on a questionable call, Stuart, wouldn't you say? You have said.
Yeah, I didn't think. I think we both agreed the first one could have been a foul against Xhaka.
Well, Xhaka could have been sent off in the first one.
He went over the top of the ball. He was saying he was trying to shield it, put his foot across the ball, so
trying to protect himself, really.
I think that's what he was doing. So that was a questionable yellow card. And the second one was even worse. It started so brightly for that man, Mason Mount, who was part of the move to set up that first goal for Pulisic. It's been wrong for them ever since. Credit to Arsenal for that.
And Willian, just watching Willian today, had a good season. But Chelsea will be, I don't know, the way the modern game is, Stuart, if you're offered the chance of either finishing fourth and getting Champions League football or winning the FA Cup, only one or the other, which way does the modern manager think?
The modern manager, I hate to say, thinks about fourth place.
Yeah. And Chelsea have got that.
Yeah. But if you're a manager, you're going to be judged eventually by how many trophies you win. And sometimes a new manager has to win a trophy fairly on in their career because it takes them on to win the next one and the next one. And that's why people criticise Mauricio Pochettino.
Yeah. Show us your medals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a protracted delay, and it does look as though, given the need for oxygen and the stretcher, that Pedro has done some serious damage to that shoulder and at the late stage of his career, particularly if you need surgery. It can be several months. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek not fit again, another one who missed out today, an option that Frank Lampard was denied. It is a blue day in more ways than one for the FA Cup finalists. A lot of sadness at the end of it, losing. But one assumes they could get another substitute on if we did see a dramatic end to this. An extra player is allowed in extra time, not in added time. Sympathy from his colleagues. Kolasinac has stood patiently on. Touchline still not on. Wait for the ball to go out of play. We are nearly there. It's just a question now of how much time added on by Anthony Taylor. We were a minute or so away when Pedro went down. Caballero. Bellerin is there. Still give it to the man of the match, the man of the moment. Goodness me, they're going to want to score again. They're going to take it and settle for the 2-1 in the corner. These things can get a bit heated in a game that's had its hot moments. It's still in play, it's not now.
Usually when Xhaka's around, it is going to be fairly fiery. It's everybody's cup of tea from the opposition.
And now they do bring on Kolasinac for Fiorentina. Who goes off by the shortest route. Well, when Pulisic scored so early, it's as though Chelsea were striding out for victory here against their London rivals. But Christian Pulisic has now seen how devastating the FA Cup can be, as well as being delightful.
Chelsea would love to have had that man on the field. Quite fit enough to play any sort of part in the game today. On the bench, but one of the substitutes that will be used.
It's Arsenal's FA Cup. Again, it's Arteta's FA Cup. The rookie manager who only arrived in December, but brought with him a feel for the club. He's done a personal double as player and manager with the Gunners in this competition. They win for the 14th time, extending their own record and booking a place in next season's Europa League.
add to his squad. There's no doubt that he may well want to move a few players on, but there's a nucleus of young talent that this man's going to work with. And this man on the training field, the signs are good. It is an Arsenal team that he is building.